On Sunday afternoon, the Souls Society Sports Complex in Sebokeng became a place of collective heartbreak. Long before the funeral service began, families, friends, classmates, and committee members gathered in silence, their faces marked by exhaustion, disbelief, and grief. Mothers clutched tissues, fathers stood motionless with folded arms, and children sat quietly beside elders who struggled to explain a loss that felt impossible to understand. The community had come together to bid farewell to three of the 14 learners who lost their lives in a devastating scholar transport accident earlier in the week. The tragedy unfolded on Monday, January the 19th, when a minibus taxi transporting students collided with a truck on the R53 near Vanderbijlpark. In a matter of moments, 14 young lives were taken, sending shockwaves through Sebokeng, the Vaal region, and the country at large. By the time Sunday arrived, the initial shock had settled into something far heavier. Grief hung thick in the air as three small coffins stood at the front of the hall, surrounded by flowers and photographs that hold stories of childhood, promise, and innocence. 6-year-old Ofentse Jayden, 17-year-old Thato Moetji, and 12-year-old Bokamoso Mokhomo were remembered not as statistics, but as children who were deeply loved and painfully missed. As hymns filled the sports complex, mourners struggled to contain their emotions. Some cried softly, others wailed openly, their sorrow echoing off the walls. The pain was raw and unfiltered, shared by a community that had been left reeling by a loss too great to comprehend. Ofentse Jayden was the youngest among those remembered, just 6 years old. He was a grade 1 learner at Oliver Lodge Primary School. He had only attended school for 3 days before his life was cut short. A family representative, Mourns, read out a letter written by Ofentse's mother, her voice trembling as she spoke. "Oh, my baby, you were so young." The letter reads, "I only had you for 6 years, not knowing you would only go to school for 3 days." The hall fell into heavy silence as the words sank in. "The whole week I have been so angry with God," the letter continued. "You left a void in my heart that no one will ever fill." Madlela later spoke from the heart, expressing a pain that resonated deeply with many parents in attendance. "I'm not okay, and I never will be," she said. "I feel like I'm dreaming. I keep hoping someone will wake me up and tell me that it's just a prank. You were supposed to be burying me, not the other way round." Around the hall, mothers wept openly, some holding onto their children as if afraid to let go. 17-year-old Thato Moetji was remembered as a vibrant teenager full of life and laughter. Friends described her as a joyful, creative, and deeply connected to those around her. One of her closest friends, Sebokeng, recalled the last moments they spent together. "We were making TikTok videos," she said through tears. "She was happy on Friday. I never thought that would be our last day together." Her voice shook as she addressed the mourners. "I'm scared," she said, "and I'm not okay." Her words reflected the emotions of many young people in Sebokeng who are struggling to process the sudden loss of their friends and classmates. 12-year-old Bokamoso Mokhomo was remembered as a gentle, bright learner who loved school. Family members spoke of her kindness and her zeal for learning. Like the others, her journey to education ended on the road that was meant to keep her safe. The funeral service was attended by several government leaders, including Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi, Education MEC Matume Chilwane, and Health MEC Nomanto Nkomo. Their presence underscored the gravity of the tragedy, though for many families, no words or speeches could ease the pain. Addressing the mourners, Premier Sophie described the accident as one of the most painful events in the province's recent history. We come here hurt, disappointed, disturbed, and emotionally drained, he said. Since this tragedy, our lives have not been the same. Our country remains in mourning. He committed the provincial government to addressing the failures that led to the loss of learners. We cannot have a situation where a road to school leads to our children to graveyards, he said. Those responsible for the accident must face the full might of the law. They must face consequences, he said. The driver violated the law and should be held accountable. The 22-year-old driver of the minibus taxi is alleged to have been operating the vehicle without a valid professional driving permit, a PDP, at the time of the crash. According to the authorities, the taxi collided with a side tripper truck while dangerously overtaking several vehicles. Chilwane added that responsibility extended beyond the driver. The owner of the vehicle should also appear in court for entrusting their vehicle to someone without a valid permit, he said. They should have known better. The joint funeral followed another emotional service held the previous day, where 18-year-old Pehelo Motaung and 7-year-old Lesego Sefatsa were laid to rest. Lesego's mother described her daughter as a lively child who loved both school and church, while Pehelo's family remembered him as a young man full of joy and promise. In the days following the crash, national and provincial authorities acknowledged serious shortcomings in the regulating of scholar transport. Transport officials admitted that many vehicles used to carry learners are not roadworthy and that some drivers are not properly licensed. Plans have since been announced to introduce stricter regulations, including advanced driving courses for scholar transport operators and clear identification of vehicles transporting learners. Authorities also emphasized that the need for formal relationship between schools and transport operators. Houghton Road and Transport MEC Kidiboni Diale said plans were put in place following concerns about protest by scholar transport operators, ensuring that no learners were left stranded. She revealed that since the start of the year 2026, several operators had been arrested for attempting to bribe police officers or for driving under the influence of alcohol. The driver involved in the crash is expected to return to the Vaal Magistrate Court on March 5, where he will face 14 counts of murder, 3 counts of attempted murder, and additional charges related to driving without a valid permit. For the families left behind, the court proceedings offer little comfort. Their reality is now shaped by empty classrooms, untouched school bags, and bedrooms filled with silence. Birthdays will come and go, milestones will be missed, and memories will be all that remains. As the coffins were carried out of the Souls of the Sport complex on Sunday, cries rang out across the grounds. Some mourners reached forward, reluctant to let go, while others leaned on strangers for support. In Sebokeng, grief has become a shared burden. The community has been changed forever by a tragedy that turned a simple journey to school into a road to loss, heartbreak, and unanswered prayers. Thank you for tuning in to True Life with Nsuku Folk Tales. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more. We bring more videos not to hurt anyone, but to bring awareness and to learn for future purposes. May the beautiful and innocent souls of these 14 learners rest in peace, and may justice prevail.